Hi friends, welcome to our channel. Today we are about to start CCNA. So it's a Cisco Certified Network Associate. Yesterday we had a just small discussion about what is CCNA. So what is CCNA? It's an certification related to Cisco, and it's related to the purely based on networking. So apart from the networking, we have something new topics here, and we are ready to cover one by one. Okay, so it's first we will go with the basics. So let's go inside. So it's a Cisco Certified Network Associate. So we have multiple means, topics are there. Means we have some other technologies as well. Like for now we are about to start routing and switching, because we have a wireless, we have a data center, and we have a telco related CCNA. Uh, it's like we are about to start with the routing and switching. So how we are starting? So first we see what is the certification, how much it costs, and what's the passing score for the exam. So let's see one by one. It's introduction to Cisco certification. So it's like we can see there are some certain certifications are there, but I can the CCN is the basic and very much important certification to cover or to start our career in the way of networking. So we can see it's like a certification levels, how the program and the worldwide, how the network is going on. So the last one is the architect level. So the first, it's like basically CCNA is the first level. So but there is something called CISNET, Cisco Certified Entry Network Technician. So it's a basics. Then it's a Cisco Certified Network Associate. It's a CCNA. Next, a professional levels. It's a CCNP. Next is an expert level. So it's like CCI. So one thing it's like I want to mention, the world's costliest exam starts in CCNA. Okay, so even for CCNA, the certification cost is comes around $300 if I'm right. So let's start CCNA. So what how the exam goes? So if you want to go with CCNA certification, so for now this is the code 200 125, but the updates are coming on, so it might be changed. I think presently it's 200 130 is the certification, I mean exam number. Okay, and one more thing is like the duration comes with 90 minutes with the 50 to 60 questions. It depends of how much mark question it's we are getting. And a passing score for the Cisco certification means CCNA, it's 825 for 1000. Little bit it's score, it's a more than 90, it's more than 80%. And it's available in English. And what are the type of questions we receive? Like multi-choice single answer, multi-choice multi-answer, drag and drop, simulation, and scenario based. So simulation is like they will provide a scenario they want to troubleshoot, and the level of CCNA. Okay, and next we go for like is the same. What we see is like CSNT is the first initial level of certification, and if you have both, instead only CCNA 200 125 is better option to go with the career. So these are the books available in the market. So it's a best, and book provided by Cisco Press. So you can get it from Amazon, Flipkart, even it's a paper book, or you can get audiobooks as well nowadays. Just try once. Even in I think in Amazon we have some good offers nowadays. So you can get a book for some 400 500 the range. Try once if you need a book and all. So this is what the schedule we are going to start. Like first of all, it's the basics of networking. Then it's IPv4. Then IPv6 means it's Internet Protocol version 4 and 6. Then it's like we go with OSA layers and TCP/IP layer, and how the components of routers will work, and initially how we configure with IPv4 and v6, and WAN connectivity and subnetting. And subnetting, it's a big good topic. We can cover the whole subnetting with FLSM, means fixed length subnet mask and variable length subnet mask. And introduction to routing protocol, static route, OSPF, AIGRP, um, with both IPv4 and IPv6. And next is like we also we'll proceed with the switching topics. Like we first will go with initial configuration, then how VLAN works, how VTP will works, what is GTP, what is inter VLAN, how VTP works, CDP. We can cover everything on even port security and STP, how the VPDs work, port fast and access controllers, ACL, and how the default routing will work, on how the NATing, HSRP, VRRP, GLBP, also local authentications like AAA and SSH and VPN, and some of the small topics. It's like NTP, SMTP, DHCP, IPv6, and it's like how to recover the password, how to upgrade the IOS, how to back up the IOS, what is TFTP, and at last it's like point-to-point authentication. All the things we are about to see in our upcoming classes. Also, we have a plan to have sessions, means classes related to the career growth, as how we can proceed with our career, what's the next level of our career, and how to crack our interviews in the way of communication. Also the questions raised by the HR or by the technical team. So we'll see one by one, and what's the what's the advantage and disadvantage, and what's the error we are making in our interviews. Everything we can see one by one in our upcoming classes. Let's go with the next slide. So let's start with the basics of networking today. So what's the basics of networking? First, what is networking? Simple, guys. Whatever we have device, we have some network device. Whatever device we have, we are communicating with our friends, colleague, or whoever in the world. We are communicating with the device, and which device with one or more devices, like one or more device getting communicated. So this communication we can call as a networking. So even if I'm speaking with you guys, it's a communication. So I'm speaking with you one on one, or one to many, or one to all are comes under communication. So communication between two or more interconnected device, it's called networking. So for that, in CCNA, we know mobile itself a device. We have a laptop, we have a PC, personal computer, and apart from that, in network we have multiple devices like hub, switch, router, access points, bridge, and a firewall. So all will communicate, but the way how we communicating is different. Okay, so this all comes under networking. This is how the networking works. Just like interconnect between two or more devices. It's not like a only network device, two or more devices. If you are communicating to other device, it's called a networking. Okay, let's go with next slide. So the types of networking. What's the types of networking? First of all, so we know that we are communicating all over the world, but how we communicate, there is some certain criterias. Like I am communicating with my company colleagues only inside my location, preferred location, or within my premises. It's called as a LAN. And what's a man? Man's a metropolitan area network. So connecting between two big cities, for example, metropolitan cities like Chennai and Delhi. If we have, it's like we can tell us a tunnel like interface. So I will straight away will connect with the metropolitan city. Even think like I have office at my Chennai, and another office is at Delhi. So I'm communicating with. I'm sending my routes and communicating with my organization without any distraction in the internet, and the secured way, so via the man. And if you go for a WAN, it's a wide area network. So name itself, it is there, what's wide area network. So it's like it's a world wide web what we are using, www, you see, right? The world wide network what we are using is a WAN. So how we can communicate? There is something called as an ISP. It's internet service provider. So they help us to communicate WAN. Who are the ISPs? Example, I can tell you, in India there is at least a WAN service provider. Okay, and Vodafone is a service provider, and Geo is our service provider. Likewise, if you go all over the world, there are multiple service providers who are providing the services over the internet. Okay, so this is how the internet will work. But for the dedicated purpose for the organization, we are using internet connectivity, which is called as a leased line. Okay, it's a paid, and there is through without any distraction, that data and packets are transferred, and your informations are transferred in a secure way. It's called a leased line. Okay, so we go with the next slide. So it's lower LAN, what I said, the same thing. The setup, you can see the local area network or used to communicate. So it used to interconnection of PCs and the network devices. It's very close together in a limited area. Like how many floors we are, how in which building we are, and everything. It should be in the same campus. It's not outside the campus. And there is some criteria, like some way how we communicate, how connect with the device. We have a switch, which is called as a multi-port switch, so that the LAN means LAN cable is connected. So it will share the MAC address, and it will broadcast. What I will tell you what's broadcast in upcoming classes. So how it will like, you can see a single switch is connected with the four devices, four laptops or PCs, whatever it is. It's an example, but it depends on how what's the requirement of the customer. So some switches will have 24 ports, some has a 48 port, some has a 12 port. It's purely depends on the customer and your needs. So this is what the LAN, how it works. Okay, so MAN, it's a metropolitan area network, as I said in my inside the previous. So it's used to connect networking devices that may span around the entire city. Okay, so example, you can see one area is Banjara Hills, another is in Amirpet. So both the city areas, it is getting connected with the help of MAN. It means there is no distraction. It will be connected or within the city. Okay, within the city or entire city, we can tell it as a MAN. Okay, and we can see the WAN, wide area network, which connects two or more LAN networks present in a different geographical location. So we can see wide area network. How we connect? We can connect with something called as a router. You can see there is a red line connecting between two devices, which is a router actually. And those routers are connected to the switch, and the switches are connected with the LAN segment. Okay, so we got it. So here is Hyderabad, this is Dublin in Ireland. So how is connected? So via the WAN is ISP, internet service provider, are providing this WAN link all over the world, with the different location. For example, India, I said Airtel, Vodafone, Jio are there. Likewise, if you go to US, you have a network called AT&T, ISP as AT&T, Lumen, I and some other networks, means what is it, service providers are there. They are providing internet connectivity, and from there we are getting internet, and which can be connected all over the world. This is how the WAN will work. So next is internet. So what's internet? Simple. Internet is a massive network of networks. In network, what is it? It's an infrastructure. So you can see there are two setups here. So between these two routers, there are multiple devices are connected, but still the proper path is shown and determined with the help of this internet. You are sitting here and you can access the Google, might be the servers in US or UK, wherever it is, but you are accessing without any flaws and in a prompt way. So that is called as a internet. So initially it started with the big machines. Now everything is in your hand nowadays. So in mobile, It's you have a 5G connection and you have a internet, you can access anything. Okay, it's like that's what it's mentioned as. It's connect millions of computer together globally, forming a network which any computer can communicate with any other computer as long as they are both connected to the internet. So we can see a person who is sitting in Hyderabad, he is accessing Flipkart, Twitter, Google, or Google Daddy, GoDaddy website. He's creating a website. Whatever you can do, everything goes via internet. So internet is designed architecture via LAN, WAN, and MAN, whatever I say. So next is topologies. So till now we see how the internet gets connected. But now if you go for topologies, we see actually we here would see one four topologies, but there is another fifth topology is called as an hybrid topology. So let's see by one by one. So first is a bus topology. You can see it's a old way of connecting different devices. So initially we used to connect like used to, you know that, right? In our older days, we have the browsing centers, the multiple pieces are connected with the help of a LAN segment with this bus topology. But if something goes wrong between, whole system will get collapsed. So that's the reason there is another topology called star and ring mesh. So all will works in a different way. Like star, if we say if one connection got disconnected, one end has an issue, so others will work fine except the one port which is connected. So if it is a ring, so one way communication get failed. Means like if a data sent from one way in a clockwise, if one some cables get uh, dropped, so it can connect in another way. And also like mesh topology. So what's mesh topology? If one link fails, it can get it through other way. So and one more thing is like the switches uses a mesh topology, okay, inside the device which we connect, because the switches will always broadcast, means layer to switches. Let's see it one by one in our upcoming classes how the switches and routers will work on all. So how to set up a network? We know that we have a PC in our home, or a laptop in our home. So we know that just we are getting connect of a LAN segment or a LAN cable into the port. That cable is also called as an RJ45 cable or LAN cable or Ethernet cable, whatever it is. So how we getting connected? It's like via a network interface card. What is a network interface? It's a chip actually. It's a small chip. So initial days when the network before the internet has arrived, so we used to install a NIC card separate. We won't get the NIC card with the PC. But nowadays everything is already embedded with the motherboard. But in nowadays we are it's embedded with motherboard. But in our older days there is nothing like that network interface card. We want to buy separate, and we want to install it in our PC. But nowadays everything is there in our PC. So it can convert a machine understandable to human understandable and human understandable to machine understandable. This is the work of network interface card. But without network interface card we can't communicate with each other in any internet. But nowadays it's only for physical. But if you go for uh, uh, wireless, so we have access points and all. Let's see one by one. So next is a media. What's the media? How we connect with the media? So the internet, what we connecting? It's itself a media like cable. The cable which we connecting, that UTP cable, we can call it as an UTP cable, LAN cable, RJ45 cable, whatever it is you can tell. So all it's like fiber cable also there. So all comes under media. And if you go for network devices, so devices, what's the devices? Your PC is a device. But if you go for network device, where like especially like router switches, in that itself router layer 2 switch and layer 3 switch and uh, bridge, uh, and we'll have some other devices as well like firewall. So these are all comes under network devices. So I can see the network interface card. This is how the image and how the device will looks like. So this is a small chip because as you can see in the picture. So this will be connected already as it's already embedded with the um, motherboard, so that you can it's in default in our PC or laptop. So you no need to buy in separate. But what's the work of NIC card? Okay, you can see this NIC card is the interface between the computer and the network. So how it work like it's also called as a LAN card or Ethernet card, or a NIC card. So in any way you can tell that one. And the Ethernet card, NIC card, has a unique 48-bit called a MAC address. It has a physical address of a device. For example, even your home has an address. It's a unique one. I can't get the same address at anywhere. So likewise, the 48-bit of MAC address, it's a unique address. 48-bit of unique address, it won't be same at anywhere. Hope you got it, guys. So this is called a MAC address. So if two PCs are communicating each other, they will share first MAC address, then its IP address. So it's a physical address. Like if I want to send some courier or some mail to someone, physical mail. So what I can do is I want to have a unique address. Then only it can be identified. Likewise, you can see the pin code. PIN code is unique for an area. Likewise, for a PC or for a laptop or for mobile, so whatever you have, there is a unique address or a physical address, which is it's called also called as a hardware address, which is called as a MAC address, which is of 48-bit, and it's in a 12-bit hexadecimal digit. It's in a 12-bit hexadecimal digit. You can see there is an example given. So you can see it's in a 12 bits of hexadecimal digit. So 12 hexadecimal digits. Okay, so next is network cards are available in different speeds. So it depends, guys. So how much you are connecting. So for example, LAN, if you're connecting a LAN with two devices, so the maximum range you can connect with the LAN cable is 100 meters. If you want to go beyond that, you want to have some extender, LAN extender, or any other extending device or switch to extend the LAN connectivity to have good speed with no flash. Okay, so you can see here Ethernet has 100 Mbps, so 10 Mbps. Fast Ethernet has 100 Mbps, and gigabit port has 1000 Mbps. Right. So medias, I can see how the medias are there. So here the medias are of two types. One is a guided and another one is a unguided. So first guided, it's a cabled one. So how we connect? It's a coaxial cable. Coaxial cable. You guys remember that there is a the technology we already used in our homes, like that TV means television cables. So those cables are comes under coaxial. Those are coaxial cables. And there is something called twisted pair cable. The pairs are twisted. Actually we can have four pairs of cable, which is called a twisted pair cable, which is also called as a LAN cable, or RJ45 cable and all. So next is a fiber. Fiber, it's a lightning speed cable. So we have good speed with a good means it covers a large distance. So this comes under fiber. And in twisted pair cable, we have two types. It's one is a unshielded twisted pair cable. Another is a shielded twisted pair cable. So those with an example we can see in our next coming slide. Okay, so next is unguided. So what is unguided? So actually without any media. So it's also a media, but without any distraction, which can call as a wireless. So what is infrared? You guys are aware of it, right? You guys are using your infrared everywhere in your home. But nowadays it's changed to Bluetooth. But before we used to have a television remote, right? So which is an infrared signal. It sends an infrared signal. In our older mobiles, we have infrared to share our pictures or video messages, something like that. So we use infrared even we are using it. And next is like what are the media. So you can see this is the first one is a UTP cable. UTP cable is a twisted pair cable, unified twisted unishielded twisted pair cable. So you can see there are some four pairs of cables. So first one is a uh, orange white orange. Next is a blue white blue, green white green, brown white brown. So this is how the is it the same in the shielded, because you can see the difference. So it's like the shielded one and it's an unshielded one. Okay, so coaxial cable, I think you can see this, as I mentioned, you can see, you saw this in your homes, in your TV televisions. So this is how it is connected. So in fiber you can see there are multiple types of fiber cables, like how depends on the speed how it is getting connected. So if we go for a LAN segment, the LAN can there are three types of LAN cables we have. One is like straight through, crossover, and rollover. And one more, and this straight through is like initially in the old days we have different devices. For example, if I'm connecting with any router and via means LAN cable and all. So it's like we use a straight through cable because of different devices, and crossover is for a same device. Okay, because the pairs are different. The transmitting and receiving of packets or data in these two cables are looks different. Okay, and rollover or crossover cables are for the same devices. Okay, and rollover is like for configuring a console port and all, we have a rollover cable, which we receive in our router and switch box itself. We can receive that. Okay, and and after that, what happened is nowadays the crossover has gone. We have a straight through cable with the same pair on both the ends, so that we can connect both any type of devices in a LAN with a single straight through cable. Okay, and this is how the overview of a LAN segment. So the terms of Ethernet refers to the family of LAN standards, and it defines in a standard, a physical, and data link layer. The reason is like what we see, it's a media. It comes in a OS. You can see, we can see the OSA layers in the upcoming classes. So OSA layer is our first is like physical layer, which is we can cover the medias, and next is a data link layer. So data link layer which has a devices which can broadcast and which shares the MAC address. So MAC address, this all comes under layer 2 technologies, which is a data link layer. Okay, so it's for a wired segment. Okay, so this is how it works. It's in a IEEE standard, which the cables are defined in a IEEE standard way, and where the protocol rules and all the LAN segments are created under this IEEE standard. Got it, guys? So you can see this is an example of a small network as a wired and wireless. The first one you can see in the top is a router which is connected to a switch. And one more thing about a router, just a short example, a short brief about it is like it's an gateway. A router is also called as an gateway, so that the internet we can access within a secured way. So router will get the data only it has the proper address. We can tell us a proper address. If you are going to some apartment, if you need to have access to get into the apartment. If not, the security at the gate will not allow you to get in. Likewise, if something comes through internet, some malwares or whatever it is, it should need a proper address to reach the destination. So that's the work of the router. If there is no route, it will stop there and it won't allow you inside. Okay, and next is like a switch. The work of the switch is like it's a broadcast. You can see there are three pieces are connected and one printer is connected. From wherever you will give print, it will print there. The reason is it's connected already, and it should if it is connected, all the devices will the switch will share the informations of all the devices to all the devices. Got it? So likewise, what we saw is a LAN. Now here we can see is a wireless LAN. So how it work? The switch is connected the same way as what I said, router is same thing, and the switch is connected to the access point. So if we have a access point, so in that access point, you can see the two tablets are getting connected via Wi-Fi. So this is an example for the wireless router which we use in our home. So if you just install, it automatically assigns an IP to your devices and you get start working on it. Okay, if you give print from the device, it's sure it will print. The reason is it's connected to the switch and the switch will broadcast. Got it? So next is how the small architecture about the network. So you can see initially, as I mentioned, router is the first one. Then if you go next, we go for a switch, and the switches will we have some core switches as well. It is connected with multiple switches like first floor, ground floor, second floor, and third floor with an access point, like how the office setup is there. So it will be like you can use your Wi-Fi in your office or a laptop in your office, and it is connected with the Wi-Fi access point, and it is connected to the switch will connect to the another switch, core switch, and there it is connected to the router. Okay, then router will connect with the outside world with the help of internet or with the help of ISP. Okay, so these are the speeds and what's the length of cable, how the data are transferred. So for Ethernet, it's 100 Mbps, which has a maximum, it's in a copper cable, and what's technologies used is 802.3 and width of 100 meters. Okay, you can see for the all LAN cables or Cat6 cables or Cat5 cables, so maximum of 100 meters. If you go for fiber, then it goes up to 5000 meters. It also depends on the channel speed, how channel speed it is in the fiber. So you can see the straight through cable. So this is how the straight through cable is connected. As I mentioned, you can see there are uh, four pairs. It means eight pins in the Cat6 cable. So you can see first two will transmit the data, and the third and sixth will receive the data. Okay. So apologies. So the first two will receive the data, and three and six will transmit the data. It's in a straight through. Likewise, in the both the end, you can see one in neck device and switch. Both are contained in a LAN port. Okay, both will have a same type of pins in the registered jack. It's RJ11, RJ45. So all the pins are in the same way. So that's why it's mentioned as you can see the pin out and pin in both are same at the both the end. And you go for a straight is a crossover, you can see both have a same devices, but you can see one goes to the three pins RJ45 pin, one goes to the three, two goes to six, three goes to one, and six goes to three, sorry, six goes to two. So likewise the pins are made different, but nowadays it's not there. All are comes in a same standard, single standard, and a straight through way. So fiber communication, so this is like it's lightning over speed, and it's like it's look like a glass. So how the optical fiber cables work, like the medium of light passes through. So we know that light has some good speed, and that's the reason we are it's like lightning speed you'll get, and it's encode from zeros and ones. Okay, also this is like if we have a bigger topology or a bigger network, we go with the fiber usually. In nowadays, even everywhere it's a fiber. Even your home Wi-Fi, it has a fiber. With a good some the service providers are ready to give you a fiber at any location nowadays. It's like depends on the speed, because there is something called as an hub and all, which the carrier will be near to your location. So that's the reason they are providing some good speed with the help of fiber. So this is how the cores, how the fiber cable looks like. So the core is the one which of we can get the this one in the data in the faster way. So I will see it works in the lightning speed. And we go for a there's something called single mode fiber. So it's usually a smaller diameter core actually. Okay, it's like 1/5 of the diameter of a common means multi-mode cable. So you can see in a single way, it's a it transmitter speeds like light and in a single angle. It's a costlier one. If you have a single fiber mode, it's a costlier one. If you go for multiple, and so you can see then the way how the image given. So it's bit slower than the single mode, but cast wise is the lesser one. Okay, so for this you can see how the cast wise it's more and less. So how the multi mode, how the UTP and single mode, how this these modes will have speed, how much fast it is, all you can see in this diagram. So how much speed it can carry, and what's the cabling cost. So for this UTP has a low cabling cost, but for a single mode fiber it's a medium. And if you go for a cost related to the switch port, the single mode is a higher one. And also one more thing is like, but the single mode will carry the information for a long distance. It's up to 40 kilometers. Okay. So next slide, it's the last slide. So as I mentioned, the types of twisted pair cable, there is something called Cat5, Cat6, Cat5e, and Cat6. So you can see Cat5 of the carry 100 Mbps, and Cat5e is 500 Mbps, and Cat6 will have 1000 Mbps of speed. It carries 1000 Mbps of speed, and Cat5 will have up to it has a fast Ethernet port, and Cat6 will have a gigabit Ethernet fast. All are in the same connector range like RJ45. It's a registered jack. RJ means registered jack, and with the standard of 45. So something like RJ11 is there. Anyone aware of RJ11? RJ11 is a telephone, the cable which is there in the telephone cable. So that is called as an RJ11. Hope this video will find good for you guys. So these are the basics of internet, and sorry, basics of networking. So we'll see our next videos one by one in our upcoming classes. So stay tuned, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.